Good evening, Ayush. Thank you so much for joining us on such short notice, and thank you so much for being a part of our Decoding the School series.
Thank you, Raghav. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
How are you? I know I've asked this again. This is our second recording, but just how are you feeling last few days in the last term of B school?
And honestly, mixed feelings. It is a bit nostalgic that these are the last time you will have proper formal education in your life. But at the same time, also excited to end this chapter and begin a new one, right? Because you will learn a lot in your corporate world
Hmm.
as compared to your MBA. Like my 2 months of internship, I learned more than 2 years of MBA. So mixed
Hmm.
feelings, both happy and sad at the same time.
But us as PGP1, when we see you guys now, we kind of see how much you guys have relished your experience, and it just feels
Mhm.
so great, it feels sad also for us because I'll be honest, this episode I wanted to record because my first ever case slot was with Ayush. For the ones who don't know, the first ever case slot I took, all of us, when we come as PGP ones, we are in our hubris. By the way, I was in section E, and
Uh,
for those 3 days of the unquoted induction,
mhm.
and ever since then, all of us are in our hubris. And I think Ayush's case slot was the slot that actually made it clear to me that, nahi bhai, you have to put in the effort. And I took multiple case slots, and one of the biggest reasons for me eventually coming out, I would say, unharmed out of the summer season was because of your case slot. So a big thank you to you because you have a huge role to play in my journey. And
Thank you so much. And honestly, like I remember taking your CV slots. You were so humble and it was so nice interacting with you. It was very refreshing.
thank you so much. And तो मतलब अब हम आप लोगों को देखते हैं तो इट फील्स वेरी मतलब हमें भी वो लगता है कि यार बिकॉज इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग काफी टाइम थोड़ा मार्च का you guys probably won't be there with us.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it feels that way to us as well. But we'll make sure that we give you a great farewell and we keep on bugging you
Done,
even
done.
after that.
100%.
Uh, Ayush, can our audience get to know a bit about you and your journey?
Sure, sure. Hi, I'm Ayush. I'm 22 years old from Calcutta. I did my undergrad from Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies, which is a part of Delhi University. There I did BBA, specializing in finance. Right after my undergrad, I joined IIM Lucknow as a fresher. And the reason for doing so was I wanted to get into consulting. And usually, all the good front end roles you are accessible only after an MBA in India. During my summer internship at IIM Lucknow, I interned at Bain Company, post which I got an offer to join full time. I'll be joining Bain as an associate consultant in the next 2 months.
So, Ayush, as you say, you've always been interested in consulting and interned at Bain and PPO at Bain. So, can you please enlighten us on what consulting is in general and what do these top tier consult firms look for?
Sure, sure. So, consultants are basically solving business problems for very large organizations. I'll give you an example. A new technology, generative AI, is taking over the world, right?
Hmm.
Now, imagine a legacy company like HUL, Hindustan Unilever. They will have to use Gen AI in order to have an edge over their competitors in all aspects, whether it be pricing, inventory management, marketing, and so on. Now,
Hmm.
for them, this technology is completely new. But now think of a consulting firm which already has built deep expertise. They have PhDs in AI on their payroll. They've done generative AI projects for similar companies, FMCG companies, not just in India, but throughout the world. So they bring
Hmm.
domain expertise, they bring past experience working on the same problem statement with lot of different clients. So this is what consulting is about, applying expertise and experience to companies and helping them improve their top and bottom line.
Uh, and what do these consult firms look for in general in a candidate when they give you, let's say, shortlist or when the final converts happen? What are those things that a candidate must have?
Sure, sure. Like let's look at it from the top, right at the beginning, right? If you want
Hmm.
to get into a good consulting firm. Now, when I say good, there are two to three certain parameters which define what good is. First would be the level of clients the firm has, right?
Hmm.
If you are exclusively working with, let's say, Fortune 500 companies, right, that means that you are tackling big problems
Hmm.
versus a consulting firm which has smaller clients, let's say MSMEs.
Hmm.
So I think if you have high turnover clients, that is good. Second would be the amount of exposure you are getting as the junior most person in the team. So,
Hmm.
for example, at Bain, when I was working on my summer internship project, I got to be in the same room as the CEO as an intern, which is the lowest level of the company. So, look at
Hmm.
the exposure you are getting. And third, I would say, is the pay which you are getting. So, good consulting firms pay a lot. They are very
Hmm.
competitive in their pay. So, I think
Hmm.
these three parameters you should decide what firm is good for you and not good
Hmm.
for you. It's a
Hmm.
personal decision.
Hmm.
Now, talking about the recruiting process,
Hmm.
generally they do recruit from top B schools only.
Hmm.
Like I know for a fact, Bain only recruits from 5 to 6 B schools in India. That's it,
Hmm.
through their formal recruiting channel. If we talk about the shortlisting process, what do these firms look like?
Hmm.
So there are 4 to 5 aspects of your CV. On the top is always academics.
Hmm.
Now, academics are important, right?
Hmm.
If you have good academics, let's say 999, that means 90% plus in 10, 12, and 9 GPA and UG. That's a
Hmm.
very good profile. Now, this is an important but not sufficient criteria. Even if you have stellar academics, a shortlist is not guaranteed. And even if your academics are not very good, it's not set in stone that you won't get a shortlist. It just
Hmm.
helps to have good
Hmm.
academics.
Hmm.
Now, when I talk about academics, I also include professional certifications like CA, CFA, FRM, and so on over here. Basically, what they're trying to see, if you've done well in academics, it shows that you can work hard, you can understand basic concepts. So this is exactly what you will be doing in your actual life, right? You'll be required to
Hmm.
work
Hmm.
very hard. You'll be required to understand complex things. So
Hmm.
academics is just a proxy for that. You won't be
Hmm.
using your knowledge. Let's say if you've done engineering, you probably won't use it a lot in consulting. But that GPA, it's not an outcome of one exam, right?
Hmm.
It's consistency through 30 exams you maintained your 9 CGPA.
Hmm.
So this is one thing, academics. Second thing they look at is your prior work experience. Now, it does not necessarily have to be full time. It could be an internship. It could be a live project. So for me specifically, I had worked with a lot of organizations. I'll just name a few. One was Vedantu, the
Hmm.
edtech firm. So during my undergrad, I did a live project with them, wherein I directly
Hmm.
got to present strategy to the CEO of the company, which is something big for me as an undergrad. That was
Hmm.
a very good exposure. It I experienced consulting firsthand. So whenever
Hmm.
consulting firms see this kind of experience that you've worked as a consultant before, you've been able to drive some impact, that is positive for you.
Hmm.
Now, one thing I'd like to highlight over here, something which I don't personally like, but it is what it is, that brand names matter.
Hmm.
Okay. So if you worked with at a reputed company, let's say Deutsche Bank, even if your role was not that great, versus you worked at a small company but your role was great, I think the preference sometimes is given to a good brand name.
Brand name.
Right. So I would recommend that you be conscious of this when making a choice, how it
Hmm.
would look on your CV.
Hmm.
Right. We've covered academics, covered work experience. Let's move on to extracurricular activities.
Extracurriculars.
Right. So one thing every firm wants is a leader, right? They would want
Hmm.
people who've held management positions before, who've shown leadership skills, who've shown people management skills.
Hmm.
And a proxy for this is it could be something as, let's say, small as being president of your undergrad society or being a core
Hmm.
committee member, or volunteering somewhere. So these are all pluses, and I would say all aspirants like they should definitely take up some leadership position out of choice. Even if not for your CV, do it for your own personal development.
Hmm. Hmm.
Extracurricular activities, they also see any spikes you've shown in a particular domain. Let's say someone is very good at quizzing.
Hmm.
They won national level quizzes, state level quizzes. Someone is very good at sports. This also shows that you are determined, you can work hard, you are consistent, right? Everything in your CV, they are actually trying to see whether they can quantify it into soft skills or not. So
Got
that is what consulting looks like, an overall profile where you've demonstrated excellence. Now
it.
you do not need to have a spike in every section, but at least two or three good spikes you should show, whether it be in academics, your work experience, your extracurriculars.
Hmm. Got it. Thank you so much for elaborating it in such in depth. But Ayush, one thing that I noticed till now in during my summers as well, that communication skills also played a huge role in people eventually cracking, because I saw that a lot of them got shortlisted because of, let's say, the spikes and the profile that you said, the way they structured, but
Hmm.
eventually weren't able to make the cut because of the certain lack in communication skills. So is it true, or is it just a myth that I have?
No, no, 100%. So see, for consulting, you need mostly three things. First is aptitude, right? You have to
Hmm,
be smart, you have to be structured in your approach.
hmm,
Second is attitude. You should be
hmm,
very curious to learn. You should like have a hunger for learning, right? You should be
hmm.
intellectually curious and you should be humble at the same time. No one likes to work with someone who's not humble,
Not humble.
right? Because see, from day one, you will be working with CEOs, you will be working with partners, right?
Hmm,
And third thing is communication. So day in and day out, you would be required to communicate both internally with your team, your
hmm,
managers, the partners on
hmm,
the case. You will also be given responsibility to directly work with the external client, right? So I myself during
hmm,
my internship, I was interfacing with a senior business manager who was 60 years old. I was taking reports from him. I was liaising with him on behalf
hmm.
of Bain. So communication is part of the job. It is true for any role, right? Not just consulting. Any role, communication is key, but in consulting even more so. So 100% aligned with you. You have to be very good communicator.
But the thing is that a lot of us, when we come to our B schools, I mean, for example, a lot of us come from back end roles where directly communicating with the client wasn't involved, and lack a lot in our communication skills. So how can one, eventually get over this hurdle and be a confident orator or a communicator?
See, first, what is communication skills? I'd like to break that
Hmm,
down a little. It's not
hmm,
being able to speak good English with an accent.
hmm, hmm,
Yeah, communication skills is that you are able to explain what you want to say. You can explain abstract concepts or your ideas in a clear manner, and
hmm,
you are being convincing at the same time, right?
hmm,
Now, communication is a science, honestly. It's no, more of a science than an art. So, there are certain principles of communication. So, there is one book I would recommend to everyone. I know no one reads a book, but at least read the summary. It's called
hmm,
The Pyramid Principle, right? Pyramid. It's
hmm.
written by Barbara Minto, who was one of the
Barbara
first
Mehta.
consultants at McKinsey. Usme, the very simple idea is whenever you are communicating, answer first. Like,
Hmm,
let's say I ask you, Raghav, I want to expand my business in three cities in India. Which three should
hmm,
it be? Now,
hmm,
instead of telling me that first I would look at the population density,
hmm.
then I would look at purchasing power, you just tell me the top three cities, which are
Top three
Delhi,
cities.
Mumbai and Chennai, right? And the reason I have chosen them is because of these three parameters A, B, C. So see,
Hmm.
first you're telling them the answer, then you are giving three supporting reasons. And
Supporting
the
reason.
number three is scientifically proven, it's neither too much nor too less.
Hmm,
So you build a very convincing, solid argument. This is a communication style. So this is
hmm,
just one example I'm giving you. When you practice, when you learn about these communication styles, right? Being answer first, using the pyramid principle, being structured, using numbered lists. So when I said these three reasons, one, two, three, this is called a numbered list. So I
hmm,
would recommend everyone you learn these concepts and you can apply them in your case interviews, in your guesstimates when you're practicing with friends. But
hmm,
do theory first. If you know
hmm.
the theory, rest will follow.
Got it. Thank you so much. I think this will be really helpful for the people who are actually struggling on how to put forward their views and thoughts in a convincing manner.
I think Raghav, maybe to aid everyone else, you can also compile a list of popular topics like 80,
Hmm,
20, MEC,
hmm.
right? And people can just go to Chat GPT and like explain this concept
Yeah,
with an example. How can I use it in my daily life? I think
yeah,
the aspirant should take this step. GPT has made everything a lot easier.
a lot easier. Yeah, we are also doing that on our channel as of now. 80/20 MEC, let's say breaking down things with Porter, Pestel, or basic frameworks of profitability, growth, entry, so that they could just apply the case frameworks without memorizing them. So, but yeah, I'll make sure to provide them the list of concepts that they can probably, as Ayush said, go to ChatGPT and see how they can apply. So we'll keep it in mind to provide them the list as well. And guys, you'll find it in the description only. So yeah, we'll do that in this video itself. But thank you so much, Ayush, for elaborating consulting and the art of communicating. And one question that I have, a very candid question. How is, apart, this is outside of consulting,
Yeah.
how has your journey been at IIM Lucknow?
Thanks for asking that question. I joined IIM Lucknow as a fresher. So for me, it was one college to another. Okay. In MBA, you will be given a lot of things, right? There are a lot of different possibilities for you. So one suggestion and something which I personally did was at the start, right? When I
Hmm,
just entered IIM Lucknow, I made a list of things. I wrote it down. This is
hmm,
I want to achieve in 2 years.
hmm,
Now, my personal belief is that one should try to have unique experiences, non-overlapping experiences. So what I did was everything I had done in my UG, I made sure I will not do it. I had done case competitions. I was a part of consulting and finance society in UG. I had done a lot of live projects, right? So I was sure I will not do all of this in IIM Lucknow. Although these are all very typical MBA components, and there is
hmm,
nothing wrong if you want to do. If you've not done before, you should definitely try it out.
hmm,
But for me, I'd already done this. Things which I wanted to do were first go on student exchange. This was
hmm,
non-negotiable for me. I did
hmm.
not join any club or society. I actually bid to run a student-run venture, GNB,
Acha.
Gossip and Bite.
Yeah.
Right. So just for your audience, IIM Lucknow allows you to run entrepreneurial ventures. So you
Ventures.
can operate a cafe, you can operate a hair salon, you can operate a merchandise store. Great experiential learning.
Right, yeah.
Right. So this was my MBA experience. I designed it according to things I felt were unique. I will learn from it and have fun at the same time.
Hmm. God, I think this sounds so great to hear. And three things that you would advise any MBA aspirant or the future cohort of IIM Lucknow or any B school that, according to you, are non-negotiable.
Okay, three things. First, I'd say have your priorities straight, right? You cannot do
Hmm,
everything, right? You
hmm,
decide, first of all, see, 99% of people who do an MBA want a job, right?
hmm, hmm,
So you come with clarity, do you want a job or not? And if you want a job, which field do you want? Is
hmm,
it consulting? Is it finance? If you're not sure, talk to a lot of people. Talk to your direct seniors who've done their summer internship. They will give you perspective. If you cannot get them, connect with alumni who are working at these firms. They are more than happy to help.
hmm,
Right. So first is have clarity what you want to
hmm,
achieve out of your MBA. Second would be work very, very hard. I'll give you an example. During summer internship, I have seen my friends who did not get good summer internship, right? They went into rolling
hmm,
process, very low step in 20,000,
hmm,
30,000 per month. In 2 years of MBA, they worked very hard. They
hmm,
worked on their academics. They took part in a lot of case competitions, a lot of live projects. They were in clubs and committees. In final placement, people who had very bad summer internship, very bad profile, in final placements, they went to McKinsey, they went to BCG. Right. So work very hard. And third is your have fun in the process, right? Make friends,
hmm,
don't be over competitive. It is a
hmm,
myth that you are taking someone else's seat. It does not happen. No company
hmm.
has fixed criteria that if we take this person, we will not take this person. Be very collaborative, have fun. Don't free ride in group projects. That is very bad, right? Contribute equally and be
Equally.
remembered as a good person by
Hmm,
your batchmates, by your juniors, by your seniors.
hmm. Thank you so much. I think this was such a beautiful answer. And I think the future cohort is, and I would say the present cohort, us also. I think this is really going to be really, really beneficial for all of us. And this was a very special episode because, as I said, Ayush, you're someone who has had a huge role in my journey as well. We've learned a lot from you, the rigor part or the entrepreneurial part as well, how you ran GNB, how you made sure to balance out everything apart and maintaining your acads, your summers, getting a PPO. So we've learned a lot from you. And thank you so, so much for being a part of this episode. And any
Thank you
last
so much
words
for
from you?
Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely being here. Treat on GNB for you. And just to your aspirants, they are preparing for an MBA, right? The target
Uh,
audience.
the target audience is the ones who are preparing for CAT,
Hmm.
who already have calls. I mean, just
Hmm.
to give you a context, more than 70 in our cohort have Lucknow call. So
Oh
probably
wow,
10, 12 of
wow,
them are going to probably bug you over LinkedIn as well. And
100%.
for example, these interviews that I do, PGP ones also watch them a lot because to them also it is nostalgic getting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
hear their mentors again. So yeah,
For those who are currently preparing for IIM Lucknow, I just want to hype you up and get you excited that if you do convert, life will be good, right? Of course, it is contingent on how hard you will work, but you will honestly enjoy 2 years of your life, both professionally and personally. You will grow a lot, you will learn a lot. So just keep that in mind and be excited for this prep journey as well.
and just to add on to it, we'll also try to be not as good as you were to us, but maybe try and replicate kind of something on the similar lines as you did for us PGP ones, and make sure that the future cohort that comes in feels the same about us as well as their seniors.
Yeah, no, you are being too humble. Raghav, thank you for doing this great initiative. All the best to you and your community.
Thank you so much, Ayush. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you. Bye bye.